Okay. Excuse me. Good evening, guys. It's Thursday. You're welcome to class. Grace, I'm so excited to see you here first today. You are highly welcomed. And this class is an amazing one. I'm so excited. If I'm looking forward to the class. It seems the village people have been trying to stop us from holding this class. Every time we plan this class, this particular course before now, it has always not worked. Something always come up and we will not, even tonight, something almost came up. You will find out that I didn't send the link early because I was thinking the weather would be against me or so. But thank God we overcame the issue tonight. And now here we are having the first class in MAC142. Good evening, Angela Chidera. You are highly welcome to class. I welcome everybody that are available at the moment. Francis Azianka, you're welcome. Let's get to business. If I'm correct, this is the first class we'll be having on this particular course. And the course is actually Introduction to Radio and Television Broadcasting. Tonight, we'll focus on trying to understand the meaning of the word broadcasting, the principles and the practice, everything that evolves around broadcasting. That's our concern tonight. Okay, to achieve Unit 1, which comes by the topic Principles and Practice of Broadcasting, we'll do the following. We are going to talk about the definition of the word broadcasting. You've done that in one of your courses in 100 level first semester, but maybe we had deeper meaning of broadcasting here. Broad and casting is a combination of two words. But when you say something is broad, it covers a large area of probably land or scope. It covers a large scope. It's broad. Then casting, as we've learned in, I don't know, one of your mark, whether mark 111, mark 1121 or so, you've learned the meaning of casting. So we'll combine the two together, broadcasting. And then we'll talk about the characters of broadcasting. What will you see happening in a place that will make you identify that this is broadcasting ongoing? Then we'll talk about program content, where you want to, broadcast a particular program. How do you come up with the content? How do you write the content? How do you prepare the content? We'll also talk about program objective. We'll talk about program evaluation and production consideration. Now, this is a very vital course. That, in fact, this is the core course that relates to what you are here to do in the school. You are a mass communication student, and this is something relatable to your course. Also, this is going to help you when you go for your 6-month COS, which you will soon go in your 300 level. Every one of you will definitely go for COS. You may decide to go to a television house, a radio station, any media house. It's welcome. So that's what we'll be doing in this unit. You guys will pardon me tonight. We are likely going to spend more than 45 minutes because we've never done any class on this course. So we're going to extend beyond the normal time this evening. You push, you pardon me. As a form of introduction to the course, broadcasting is the passing on or transmission of messages from a single source, which represents the station, to a heterogeneous audience, different types of audience, spread in different places but found within the range of or the range on the medium of broadcasting. So if they are using radio now, for instance, what this introduction is trying to say on broadcasting is that broadcasting is a form of system whereby a particular uh, person serves like an actor that wants to send out information. Now, this information he or she wants to send out will come in form of message or anything it is going to be in form. It will go through a medium. So it is one person that is sending the message, but the message is falling on the ears of so many people from different background, Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, Efik, Ogbon, Bayelsa, all is falling on different ears at the same time. But there is a limit. There is a limit. It's falling on different ears, fine. But the limit it's going to travel will be within the that media broadcast. So if the mask of a particular radio station only covers, you are in another local government in the state, you will probably not hear them. Why? You are outside the range. You are outside the range where their broadcasting can travel to. That is just an idea to help you understand what we want to talk about in this unit. Um, Consider Dora. What is wrong with Dora these days? She wasn't in class yesterday, although recently she said she was not feeling too well. And I don't think I've checked on her since then. Grace, you should check on Dora, please. So, medium of broadcast. The various issues to be examined in this unit, excuse me, are to introduce you to principles and practice of broadcasting, the definition of broadcasting, characteristics, content, objectives, evaluation, and consideration. So, where are we? That is all we want to do in this course. Now, you as the learner, what are you expected to be able to do at the end of this unit? One, of course, you should be able to define the word broadcasting. Another thing is you should know the characters of broadcasting. You should know what program content is for radio and for television, and you should be able to differentiate between the types of program that we have. Now, and also you'll be able to identify the stages involved in program production. When you go to a television house, or sorry, station or a radio, there's a television house or a radio station, you probably see different programs. You watch them till you listen to different programs on radio, watch different programs on television. Those programs do not just come to your sight on TV, to your ears on radio. They followed so many processes for them to prepare for each of those programs. So you learn the stages. In fact, at the end of this unit, you should be able to broadcast yourself. Like if they should put you before the mic, you should be able to, host a program successfully because you've learned the stages already. Now, you should be able to outline some production considerations when one is trying to prepare for a program. Now, the most important thing, which is the first thing we have to learn in this unit, is the definition of broadcasting. And that's the first thing we'll do now. Broadcasting is the process of sending out and receiving messages through the air. Broadcasting is the process of sending. This time around, they do not dwell on only sending. They said there is also receiving. Process of sending out and receiving messages through what? Air. Through the air by a scientific method which we call electromagnetic waves. Electromagnetic waves. I know those of you that did physics in secondary school, you definitely can relate to electromagnetic waves that we're talking about. You can relate to electromagnetic waves that we are talking about. Now, let's go to more serious things. According to this man, Owa Malam, in 2007, the type of messages that are being transformed, those messages that are sent out are transformed into electronic signals in the studio. It mixes the signal with the carrier waves generated in the transmitter and the studio. Yes. Then the blending enables the electromagnetic waves to be moved at great speed through the antenna and shot into the air. The air carries the waves as a medium, and the signals are received by the sets in our homes and our offices. Now, why are they telling you this deep about the word broadcasting and the process. It's not good enough for you to just know how to broadcast or what broadcasting means. It's also important to note, this, you'll be curious. I think they just tell you broadcasting is this and this, and then they took you to the radio station and they show you how to practice broadcasting and you practice. Won't you be curious that, okay, this thing I'm saying into this thing that look like engine or anything, how is it leaving this place? How is it getting to my home and people are watching me or people are listening to me at home? There should be that You should be that curious. If you are rates or which are generated in the transmitter and in the studio, then we have the blending of the electromagnetic waves which we moved which moves at great speed. The electromagnetic waves is the one that moves at great speed and then carries your message into the air. The air serves as the car, the vehicle through which that message will travel across everywhere you want to send it. Now, this definition does not take care of the technical aspect of production, as this aspect is the case of engineering department. In this course, we are concerned with the aesthetics of production and not the technical aspect of production. Yes, that is true. We are not much more interested in how electromagnetic waves blend together, become a speed to the message and transfer into the air, all those background behind the scene. We are not much more interested in them in this course. The course just wants you to know what broadcasting is and how to broadcast. So, academics, however, view broadcasting as something that can be studied and observed. So, in that view, Okoduwa in 2014 defines broadcasting as a phenomenon. It is an institution. It is a platform to exchange ideas and information. Now, I have an icebreaker. This man, Okoduwa in 2014, says that broadcasting is a phenomenon. It is an institution. It is a platform. And it is a marketplace where what happens? All these things, all this hyping that he is actually giving us, what is it trying to say? What happens in that marketplace? What happens in that institution? It is exchange of information and ideas. Exchange of ideas and information. Exchange of ideas and information. Exchange of ideas and information. That is the basic thing that happens in the broadcasting world. So, guys, according to Okoduwa, broadcasting is a phenomenon. It is an institution. It is a platform and it is a marketplace. Once you start saying institution, marketplace, that definition is given by Okoduwa in 2014. Now, the broadcast program generally falls into three forms, namely, no matter what they are doing on radio or what you are seeing on television, we can categorize them into three forms. Whether you are working making mice or you are listening, you are watching maybe Big Brother Ninja, you are watching a sermon or anything, or probably listening to anything on radio. All those programs can be, categorized into three forms. Three forms. We'll name them. But before we name them, I want to assess you on something to see if you guys have been following. I have another assessment there. So let's check it out. Dash in 2014 9, defines broadcasting as a phenomenon, an institution, a platform, or a marketplace where exchange of ideas and information takes place. So who was that person? Now, what are the three forms of programs that we have in a broadcast studio? No matter the program you want to do, it will fall under these three categories, either of these three categories. Now, the first one is the programs can be entertaining. That means entertainment. First form of programs we have is entertainment. The second one is informative. And the third one is educative. It's very simple. The three types of program forms we have the EIE. Just put it like that. So you can then fill it and say that the first E is entertainment, the I is informative, the last E is what? Educative. Is educative. So entertainment, informative, educative. Three forms of programs. Okay. Can you see my screen and can you still hear me? Can you see my screen and can you still hear me? Okay, thank you. I experienced some kind of seizure, so I was thinking I'm not on anymore. All right, so let's continue then. So we already know the three forms of broadcast programs that we have now. The three forms of program we have: the entertainment, the informative, and the educative. Thank you. Now, the programs can even be a blend of all the types. One single program can combine entertainment, information, and education together, such as the variety shows, which covers various segments that deal with specific issues. The essence of the broadcast program or program production, according to according to Sofola in 1997, he cited Owumoalam in 2007. The purpose or the essence of broadcast program is to stimulate growth, societal growth, renewal, and regeneration of vital issues to the improvement of man for a wholesome life and a better community. Now we need to dwell on this their essence. According to Sofola, he cited a man called Owumoalam in 2007. And what did they say about the essence of broadcast program? Why do we broadcast program? That's what they're trying to say. They try to answer the why. Why? So, according to them, the why is that we want to stimulate societal growth. We want the society to grow. When we entertain them, we educate them, we inform them, we are creating an avenue for growth. Not only growth, renewal and regeneration of vital issues that leads to improvement of man for a wholesome life and a better community. So that is the essence of broadcast program. Mm, I want to take an icebreaker. Okay, there is a self-assessment, so I will use that one. Self-assessment say, what is production? Through what means do programs get into our houses and offices? The first paragraph, when we're talking about the definition of broadcast, answer the second question. The one that was talking about electromagnetic waves, you understand, that blends and serves as a catalyst. It speeds up the speed and then it travels to the air to your homes and offices. Then let me ask us now, there is one other question there. What is production? So you guys will answer that one. In a radio station or in a television house, you are actually broadcasting. You are broadcasting. That's what you are doing. You are broadcasting at any time. Sorry, what am I saying? You are producing. You are a producer. You are producing something. You know what it means to produce? You mix things together. You mix formula together to get or arrive at a particular product. So even what you are dishing out as programs is a product. Is a product because it passes through the stages of production. Now that is an icebreaker. I think we are done with the first part of the unit that says we should be able to define broadcasting. The first thing where in their objective is that we should be able to define broadcast, and I think by now we know what broadcasting is all about. We have done justice to that. I would like to take you back to the definition according to uh, Owamalam. I don't. This his name is somehow strange. Owamalam. Mm, okay, not really according to him, about the standard definition. This definition is limited because it seems to be technical. Broadcasting is the process of sending out and receiving messages through the air by a scientific method called electromagnetic waves. So we said that that definition seems to be more technical. It deals with only the engineering part. Now, what of the academic part? That is now according to Okoduwa in 2014. Broadcasting is a phenomenon. It's an institution, and it's a marketplace. What happens in that marketplace? Exchange of ideas and information. So if you know this now, you already know the definition of broadcasting. Whether you know the engineering definition, sending out and receiving of information through uh, electromagnetic signals or so, or waves rather. This one is good you know to do. It is good you know the two, the engineering definition and the academic definition. Receiving of information through electromagnetic waves. The academic definition, it is a phenomenon, it is an institution, it is a platform and a marketplace where exchange of ideas and information takes place. And the programs you produce in this in the studio or in the station comes in three forms: EIE, entertainment, information, and education. Now, what are the characters of broadcasting? That is our concern. Our next concern is the characteristics of broadcasting. You can also say the characters of broadcasting. Yes, I think I have asked the question. Nobody seems to be answering yet. I'm waiting for your answers. What is production? What is production? Now, while you are trying to figure that out, characters of broadcasting. Having attempted to define and explain what broadcasting is in the last section, the next unit or issue to deal with is the characteristics of broadcasting. Broadcasting recreates the activities of people and their environment through its programs, according to Owamalam in 2007. This Owam Alam says that broadcasting recreates the activity of people. Basically, all the things you are watching on radio are things, watching on television are things you do yourself at home, are things that you are conversant with. So they are just recreating what you know, what you already do, what you are conversant with. They are recreating it to give you pleasure, like entertain you, educate you, or even inform you on better ways to do those things. I am not sure people are still with me. Okay, why Beta is saying that production is the process of making goods or providing services that people want and need. All right, thank you. But yeah, that is production in other side. It's not like mixing of content and programs together in the studio. That is the type of production we are talking about. News tends to relay activities and events of people. We are not talking about examples of programs that we have that you will broadcast. We're talking of characters of broadcasting, and we say that broadcasting recreates the activities of people and their environment. That is what broadcasting does. It recreates those things for them. Now, we now want to take news, for example. When you listen to news, what is happening on news? News tends to relay activities and events of people. The news they are talking about, it is still it's still people or that same country or that same place that still acted those news that we are producing now, we're saying news. Now, it is the recording and passing the information which has already taken place. The information to be reported must pass through the editor. The editor might correct grammar, take out certain things that he or she thinks are not relevant. This can be done, this can be for either the radio or television. Both the radio programs and the television programs are all edited. So we have the editor who is in charge of seeing that we have grammatical correctness and some other things are put in place before the production takes place. So we say that news relay activities of people people, activities and events of people. A lifespan. That is the first thing you will learn tonight. Broadcasting has a lifespan. So let's read about that and see what that is having in stock for us. Okay, so lifespan, what does that mean? Broadcasting has a lifespan. What makes news is currency. News is currency. I love this statement. What makes news is currency. Imagine you telling me something that happened 15 years ago or 2 years ago, and I say, I have a news for you. Is that one news? Something that happened 2 years ago, it's no longer news to me. Because it's something that everybody, okay, you now want to tell me now that in 2020 or 20 what, Nigeria experienced scarcity. Sorry, what did you call this one? Subsidy. They remove subsidy on fuel. That one is not news again. The proximity of it's happening, it's no longer current. So news must be current in order for it to, of course, qualify to be news. So while looking at the characters of broadcasting, one is lifespan. If what happens now is delayed and reported a few days after it has happened, then it becomes stale. It is no longer news. Now, in order to capture the attention of audience members, news is written in short sentences, precise, to the point, with most important ones coming first in the news. As such materials to be used in news production or any kind of production must be carefully selected. That is why we say it is production. You are producing it. It involves it's not just you going out and seeing something funny or some event happen and you quickly record it with your phone and you go to the studio. It's not like the one you do on social media that you will not even edit, you will not check what you are typing, you just post bang. It's not like that. Oh. You are going to be held responsible for every single thing you say on air. So it passes through a whole lot of process. You must learn that. You don't just go on air and start bloating anything out. No. Creativity or creatively ordered and structurally organized to meet the needs of the audience or audience members for whom the program is meant. If you don't organize your program well, your audience will lose interest. That's why you see some programs you're watching on television or listening on radio, you just get bored. You just switch off the TV or you just switch to something else and say, this one is a boring. Because the thing is either not well planned, not well structured, or you are not the right audience. You know. Now, character number two. Character number one is lifespan. In character number two, we have personnel involved. Personnel involved. But before then, I I I have an icebreaker. And I have an icebreaker. Now, excuse me. Please, you people should give me few minutes. I think I'll drop the icebreaker there. You can attempt the icebreaker and okay, let me drop the icebreaker before I attend to the person I want to attend to. So you give me like 2-3 minutes, I will join you guys. Okay, guys, sorry about that. So, yes, materials. So the next thing is personnel involved. Personnel involved. That is the second character we'll be looking at today. And in this character, radio and television broadcasting involves a number of people. I think this one is not something you will need to cram. You already know that when you go to a radio station or when you go to a television house, it is people that you will see there. Those programs don't just happen. A program that you're watching on TV is not just broadcasting itself. People are behind, they are behind it. There is a question in the TMA of this course. This exact question I want to drop now is in TMA. Now, these include the technical crew, the producer, the director, the editor, the lighting crew, the actors and actresses, or the artists. All these people put together form what is called the production team. The production team can be made up of both skilled and unskilled artisans and talents. You should know that a lot of people are involved in production of what you are watching or listening to that seems to make sense to you. Now, when the audience members view or listen to programs, they are bound to react to such programs in a specific manner. The reaction may be positive or negative depending on the content of the program. That is, of course, is that I don't think that is something we should dwell much on. If you watch a television program now or you listen to radio program, there are either of two things that will happen. It's either you like the program and then you react positively to it and even tell some other people about it. Hey, there's one interesting program going on now. Is they call it BB Ninja, Big Brother Ninja. Have you watched it? You understand? Or you react negatively to say, I view that rubbish thing. This one is rubbish. I mean, I'm not interested. You can even switch off your television when they're doing it. Why? Because you're not interested. So your reaction will either be negative or positive to any program at all. Programs set an agenda for the public to discuss. For example, during the Ibrahim Babangida regime, the International Monetary Fund (IMF) issues came up and there were divergent views on the matter. Reactions came from the public. In the end, the loan was not taken from the IMF. However, the conditionalities were implemented by the regime. We have something important to look at here, and I will do that and give you guys an icebreaker. Another icebreaker. So IMF stands for dash. So we say agenda setting by brokers set. Agenda setting by brokers set the agenda which enable reactions to events and activities from the public. So that is another character. So we've looked at two characters of broadcasting. One is it has what? Lifespan. A broadcast has lifespan, and then a broadcast has personnel involved. Two characters, lifespan and personnel involved. What you want to broadcast must be current, and then there are people involved in the broadcasting. We have the terms of the producer, the director, editor, lightning crew, technical crew, and so on and so forth. So we have a self-assessment here, discuss the characters or characteristics of broadcasting. The next thing we have is program content, but I won't do that tonight. I have some matters to attend to. So we'll stop here. We'll stop on program content. We'll continue from there. Thank God the material is not a long one, so we'll finish it before exam. So program content is the next thing which we will start from in the next class. Uh, Thank you all for attending tonight. So please try to check up on Dora. I don't know the exact thing that is happening to Dora. Help me check up on her and see what's the issue. Everybody after the class, message her in a DM and ask her what is wrong. So we get feedback. Do enjoy the rest of your night and have